Microsoft David Audio presents Legend of the OmeletWings, by Ryan R. G. Wallace. Read by Microsoft David. Chapter 1, Intro. It is a long-known fact that dragons lay eggs. With or without a partner, a dragon will lay an egg anyway. From this truth, many great events were born. In ancient times, there was even an event called the Egg Olympics, where all the tribes would gather together and perform all sorts of egg-related sports. But a particular group of dragons became extremely obsessed with eggs. Following the lead of the scavengers who often slipped into their caves to steal their eggs for food, the fanatics began to eat their own eggs as well. To many dragons, this was seen as unnatural, so the group of dragons left the other dragons to form their own tribe, the OmeletWings, in a hidden valley in the claw of the Cloud Mountains. There, they let their obsession with eggs overtake them, shaping their whole society, until they forgot even the difference between unfertile eggs and eggs that were destined to grow into dragonets. They only cared for omelets and omelets alone. The OmeletWings had no need for alarms, because they had their own signal for waking up in the morning: the screams of a dragon, the promise of another breakfast served. On a table in the center of the village, they would lay out plates and platters of all sorts of egg dishes galore. Some of the citizens would lay so many eggs. There was always enough for everyone. But out of all the dragons in the valley, there was no stronger supporter of this feast than Queen Omelet of the OmeletWings herself. This was a name which was received by all potential queens in order to keep up with the branding, the egg in its finest form. Unfortunately, not even she was above fault though. Every time she laid an egg, she would forget her purpose in life and succumb to the pain of screaming and writhing. As much as she later regretted her reaction, every time she laid the next egg, she would do it all again. Once, she even cursed the art of egg-laying altogether. After that, the queen vowed she would never again make such a blasphemous remark against her beautiful craft. She had a muzzle fashioned for herself, and every day she laid an egg, she would strap it on, so no screams and horrible statements could arise. She hired an impersonator who sounded just like her to cheer every time she had a contraction, to represent her overwhelming joy at begifting the world to something as beautiful as dragon eggs. But even through the muzzle, she couldn't suppress her blasphemous thoughts about egg-laying every time she laid, her continual tendency to forget her wonderful purpose in life when gripped in the clutches of pain. The urge to throw her impersonator out the window every time she shouted for joy. She built special chains to prevent any further incidents, but at the very least, nobody could hear it but her. And by the time she tasted her delicious daily omelet, all those unholy thoughts were long forgotten. Now, it could be assumed that if the dragons ate all their eggs, there would be no descendants to carry on to the next generation. But every once in a while, the storeroom became so full of eggs, that one would be left unattended long enough for it to hatch. This was often considered a dysfunctional egg, which was then returned to the couple who provided it to care for it until it became capable of joining the great circle of breakfast as well. And it was from one of these dysfunctional eggs that the daughter Embryo was born, the dragonet who would grow up to change the OmeletWings forever.